Do you have any idea how fatherlessness impacts boys and girls' behavior? And
With women, they definitely, here's the problem women have when they grow up without a father figure, and they really feel it, is they'll always date a lot older men. So they'll be 17, 18 years old, and they're looking at the 30-year-old and the 35-year-old, and they're getting older and older, and there's a huge gap between them. Now, in my experience of working with women that go for these age gap relationships, is they are in survival mode without a father. They need that safety and comfort. And the conversations that we normally find really boring coming from our father about mortgage rates and saving your money, they sexualize those conversations. So when they hear it from an older man, they're like, oh, he's so responsible. They're not used to it. So they end up initially going for that older man and falling in love. But once they feel safe and they've got the money and they've got the safety, they then look for men around their own age. They end up, it's almost like having a safe, secure base. Once you've got an older father figure in your life, then you go on to see what you're sexually attracted to. But until you've got that secure base, you're in survival mode. You're looking for who can make you feel safe, not who can make you feel like who you're attracted to. So they blur the lines between attraction and safety. And they end up looking for it in an older man, but then cheating on him with a younger man.
do you think that they over prioritize socioeconomic status in that regard?
Rightly so. I understand why, because they don't have a backup plan. When you grow up with your father, at some point he'll help you when things get rough, or he'll leave something for you and stuff, and it naturally creates a level of safety. They don't have that safety, and usually if they come from a single mom home, she's also encouraging her to look for a rich man because it benefits her as well. There's usually some kind of support network. Okay, you can come live with us, and so on and so forth. So they come from a culture of, you don't have to love a man. All men are annoying and they're difficult, so just choose one that's going to give you a good life. So they end up focusing on social economic status, but they also end up with men with low self-esteem, because a man with high self-esteem at 40 years old would recognize he's got nothing in common with a 22-year-old who makes TikToks all day. He wouldn't have any intellectual intimacy. So she ends up with an older man with low self-esteem, who, when she does cheat on him, will still take her back and so on and so forth, who pays every bill or whatever it is. She ends up with a man that she doesn't respect in the long run, but really admires initially because he provides her with that safety she's been craving.
Yeah, you told me about this book you'd been reading to do with parental alienation. What's that?
Well, the thing is, I was looking into parental alienation only because I see it so much going on. But one of the things, punishments women use for a man that she feels has let her down, is depriving him of access to the children. Now, the problem I see happening is with the children of such mothers, especially the men of such mothers, they go on to have very, very abusive relationships. So men who grow up with single moms who blocked access, they end up with women who are very abusive. Either they're unfaithful, or they financially abuse them, or they're just they're physically abusive. They grow up with they end up selecting very abusive women. And from my observation and from what I'm reading, it looks like what happens is when you've been deprived of a father and you've only heard mum's side of the story, what happens is they put their mum on a pedestal. They think women are the innocent victims of harsh men. So what will happen is they're prey to women that need saving. They always gravitate towards women that they can save and help and nurture and say, oh yeah, that man was terrible. I've got you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to show you what life looks like because I've been doing that to mum my whole life. The problem with those women is they are broken beyond you. You can't fix them. Most women can't be saved. They have something broken that they need to fix themselves. But the man that thinks he can save her is the one that's a little bit more delusional, and he gets his self-esteem from seeing her now love him. So unfortunately, he ends up going for very broken women that end up re-abusing him, and he ends up not having those boundaries that he needs with women. So they end up in very poor relationships when they've been raised by a mother that blocks access to fathers.
You often hear about the reverse, about women who look for the guy that's broken, but I can fix him and I can hold on. Why do you think that happens?
We hear it a lot with women. It happens in men as well. We hear it a lot in women because it's a huge ego boost knowing that a man used to be a player, but for you he changed, or he used to be in and out of jail, but for you he changed. Here's the reality. You're competing with people's childhood, not other women. If I've got a man that's really broken and he sleeps around and he's doing drugs or whatever it is, and I think I'm going to fix him and I'm going to be the special person, I'm competing with his childhood traumas. You can't compete with somebody's childhood. Essentially, you're always going to lose. Now, whatever caused that addictive behavior or that abusive behavior still exists before you. You are not the therapist and you are not the cause of the wound. So don't take on that role.